Well, we're just 48 hours into Trump's victory, and the Democrat establishment isn't just crumbling, it's self destructing. In Illinois, a small cafe supporting Trump faces radical leftist attacks, while across the nation, Democrat governors are openly defying federal authority. Kamala Harris' concession speech, plagiarized allegedly from Hillary Clinton. Obama reportedly fleeing the country. Governors Newsom and Pritzker calling emergency sessions, but here's what's really happening. The left's political machine isn't just losing power, it's losing control of the narrative they've carefully constructed for decades. And as the Democrat establishment crumbles, we're seeing a massive shift in how Americans view their financial future. Just like Democrat leaders who trusted in empty promises, millions of Americans have trusted in a financial system that's failing them. Our national debt has surpassed 35 trillion, and now smart patriots are protecting their wealth from the chaos. So, if you have funds sitting in a low-interest bank account or 401k IRA retirement account, you need to call my friends at Global Gold Investments, America's leading conservative precious metals dealer, and receive absolutely free their new 2024 Protect Your Wealth and Retirement Guide. Call 888-700-4148. Mention Next News. Receive their 5-star customer treatment along with a complimentary portfolio analysis. Operators are standing by. Call that number on the screen, 888-700-4148, or just visit IRAGoldproof.com. Remember, if you don't have gold, then you don't have wealth. We thank Global Gold for their sponsorship of this program. So let's jump into the meltdown. So many reactions, and we got to tell you about what's happening in Wheaton, Illinois. But first, Fox News reporter calling out Karine Jean-Pierre for asking when the hateful rhetoric against Trump will end.
President's going to put
the
American people.
And then she storms out of the room.
As Gabe mentioned, this administration message to millions of Americans that they're going to wake up the day after the election if Trump won and have their rights stripped away, that democracy would crumble, and the president said today we're going to be okay. So how do you square that?
I can square that. I'm going to square that in a way that hopefully makes sense, because I've been answering this question multiple times. The American people made the decision. There was an election 2 nights ago. There was. And it was a free and fair election. And we respect the election process. We do. And Americans spoke. And so the job of the president is to make sure we respect that. The job of the president is to make sure that we have a peaceful transfer of power. That is what the American people deserve. And that's what we're going to, it's not complicated. It's truly as simple as that. As simple as that. The president called the president-elect, invited him to the White House. You know why? Because that's customary. That is customary. That is what you do. If you respect what the American people decided, that's what you do. And that's what the president's going to make sure that the Trump transition has what it needs, which is being led obviously by our chief of staff here. Why? Because the president wants to lead by example. It's not complicated. It really isn't. That's important.
By example is the message to people who are fearful based on what the messaging was about the state.
Well, now you're just twisting everything around, and that's really unfair. No, it is. No, Jackie, it's unfair, because I've been standing here trying to be very respectful to what happened the last 2 nights ago. Being respectful. I've been standing here saying that we respect the decision that the American people made. I've been standing here and saying that the president's going to put the American people first. I've been standing here talking about how the president's going to make sure that they get what they deserve, which is a peaceful transfer of power. I do not appreciate having my words twisted. That is, I have been very clear, very clear about what the president wants to do, and the vice president. We want to make sure that we deliver for the American people. They deserve a peaceful transfer of power, and that's what you're going to see. Thanks, everybody.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out, Karine. Yeah, the hateful rhetoric being spewed from the left for the last 4 years. Further than that, really. Trump is Hitler. Trump is a fascist. He's going to take everyone's rights. He's going to, weaponize the government against his political enemies. All these things that they've been saying. And don't twist my words. Don't twist my words, she says. Oh, no, we're going to hold you accountable for every word you and all of your Democrat cronies have said. Every single lie, every single piece of disinformation that YouTube has decided to elevate as authoritative content, yes, we are going to hold every single one of them accountable. Oh, but there's more. Oh, this is great. Oh, yeah. Remember Michael Cohen, Trump's so-called fixer? Oh, he's getting trolled hard right now. Oh, yeah. This just an hour ago. Michael Cohen is getting trolled hard for remaining in the U.S. after saying he'd leave if Trump won. Oh, yeah. He decided to go live, and, well, everyone had a big problem with that, and they decided to make him pay for it. Watch this.
And then the following, no problem.
Okay, so I guess I'm not sure what I think he's on TikTok here, or he's on some kind of stream where if you pay or you drop some kind of money or emoji or something, it puts a filter on their face, and they kept doing it to him, and he couldn't take it anymore. Watch this.
Wow, genius you are. Can we stop with that? I appreciate it. I don't like the stupid turkeys. All right, let's just knock that stupid shit off, please. All right. I did. I said I was leaving, and then the following day, get that through your dumb heads. The following day, I turned around and I said that there's no chance in the world that I'm leaving my country. Thank you very much. All right? I'm not leaving anyway. You leave. This is my country. And I have every right, every single right within which to turn out with me. Stop so we can... All right, 2 seconds. I'm going to end up blocking this idiot. No problem. Wow, genius you are. Can we stop with that? I appreciate it. I don't like the stupid turkeys. All right, let's just knock that stupid shit off, please. All right. I did. I said I was leaving, and then the following day, get that through your dumb heads.
Oh, Michael Cohen getting so triggered. Oh, that was hilarious. Oh, well. Well, let's see what Russell Brand had to say about the concession speech. We've got a short clip here. We'll just play a portion of it. Brian, go horizontal, please.
From a fundamental principle of American democracy is that when we lose an election, we accept the results. That principle, as much as any other, distinguishes democracy from monarchy or tyranny.
What we've been living within are totalitarian bureaucracies that legitimize their authoritarianism through measures of care. Because we care for you so much, we're going to have to sack these 34,000 key workers. Because we care for you so much, you have to take these medications. Because we care for you so much, we're not going to ensure that they're clinically trialed correctly for transmission. There are so many things to consider and unpack there. And what's been rejected, along with celebrities, I would offer you, is that era of managerialism and bureaucratization of those processes.
In our nation, we owe loyalty not to a president or a party, but to the Constitution of the United States.
Do you remember when we saw the New York Times headline, "Is the Constitution problematic?" Are you aware how much the Bill of Rights is being discussed and the legitimacy of the Bill of Rights? It's pretty extraordinary how this speech obfuscates the last 4 years of government.
And loyalty to our conscience and to our God. My allegiance to all three is why I am here to say, while I concede this election, I do not concede the fight that fueled this campaign.
Okay, that's enough of that. But there is even more. Yes, the Massachusetts governor says her state won't assist with the deportations if the Trump administration asks. Libs of TikTok reports she says she will protect the illegals in her state. Protect illegals. Protect criminals. So that makes you an accomplice to crime. Okay.
Some realities also need to...
If the Trump administration requests it, would the Massachusetts State Police assist in mass deportations?
No, absolutely not. But, you know, let me say this.
Wait a second. Brian, I think what we need here, See if you can find that sound effect of him saying "stop the hammering." You know, every time I see this guy, that's what I hear. I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Let's go.
I do think it's important that we all recognize that there's going to be a lot of pressure on states and state officials. And I can assure you, we're going to work really hard to deliver. Some realities also need to be, noted. And that is, in 2016, we had a very different situation in the courts. And while I'm sure there may be litigation ahead, there's a lot of other ways that people are going to act and need to act for the sake of their states and their residents. There's regulatory authority and executive powers and the like. There's legislation also within our states. So I think that the key here is that every tool in the toolbox has got to be used to protect our citizens, to protect our residents, and protect our states, and certainly to hold the line on democracy and the rule of law as a basic principle, right?
No, the only tool here is you. Okay, what else have we got here? University of Oregon staff member expressed hope in a social media post that people who voted for President-elect Donald Trump would jump off a bridge. That's according to a recording of the video published on Thursday by a media supplier shows. This is from KATU. Dare I even click this? Okay, fine. I'll click it and see where we go. Okay, here we go. Is there audio? Oh my goodness. Earlier in the video, he said Trump voters can go F themselves. Oh boy, getting trolled too. Do better. I don't even want to find this video. I mean, we got more nasty stuff coming. I mean, wait till you see what I got lined up for you in this one. Rod Blagojevich pointing out the blame game begins. Biden is blaming Obama and Pelosi for forcing him out. Harris is blaming Biden for sabotaging her campaign. Democrat pundits are calling blacks and Latinos misogynists for voting for Trump. And the Dems didn't lose because they stabbed each other in... The Dems didn't lose because they stabbed each other in the back. They lost because they stabbed the American people in the back with their policies of open borders, inflation, the abuse of the rule of law, and their endless lies. Well said, Rod. Well said, indeed. And then we have this. Gavin Newsom is claiming he will refuse to deport illegal migrants when Trump takes office. Brian, go vertical with this, please.
Also claimed Trump has an issue. The California governor, Gavin Newsom, is now claiming he will refuse to deport illegal migrants when Trump takes office.
And we ultimately renounce the kind of bigotry, the kind of xenophobia that is front and center in discussions and debates like this. I thought the Attorney General was right about the Trump administration having issues with immigrants, but I think he could have been even more pointed, and forgive me, Mr. Attorney General, by saying he has a particular problem with brown people, not even immigrants.
The California governor, Gavin Newsom, is now claiming that he will refuse to deport illegal migrants when Trump takes office as president. He also claimed that he thinks Trump has an issue with and dislikes brown people. Wow. These statements from the California governor has garnered controversy from commenters online. Commenters claimed that he should be focused on the people living in tents on the street in California, and that this is ridiculous. But what do you think about Governor Newsom's claims? Do you agree with him? Comment your opinion down below.
Yeah, that smirk he made.
Not even immigrants.
The California governor...
That smirk right there says it all. He is totally lying to the people right there. But there's even more. We've got the Clucks on The View. Yeah, the hen house over there. They are having meltdowns as well.
Rogue corporate think critically. Well, it would help if we could regulate social media, because one of the biggest offenders is D.C. and Congress have not been able to do one thing in regard to the rogue corporations of social media.
It's not going to get any better with Elon Musk now in the administration. I want to think critically.
Well, it would help if we could regulate social media, because one of the biggest offenders is D.C. and Congress have not been able to do one thing.
Regulate social media. That means you. That means your posts on Facebook, your posts on X, your posts on Instagram, your posts on YouTube. They want to censor all of it because they do not want your voice added to the discussion. Your voice is not permitted in the debate. Only voices that agree with their totalitarianism. And it's being promoted on a mainstream news channel to millions of people. Absolutely disgraceful. If anything, those people on The View need to be regulated. But their time will come. We've got this, the Secret Service. I'm not even gonna play. You can just see what it says. This is just a scroll of, look at the screen. This is a series of tweets that people have posted on X. Read those. I'm not even going to say them out loud because they're despicable. Joey Manorino, he says the Secret Service needs to arrest all of these people immediately. You see what they're saying here? This is the mentality of the left. Your voice cannot be heard. It must be silenced officially and always. Even President Trump, President-elect Trump. Look what they're saying here. Disgraceful. We've also got this, CNN's Elspeth Thrieve. Trump voters see our network as part of the left. Of course, we don't see it that way. It's because they're blind. They're in an echo chamber. They don't even realize they're part of the left.
Saying men who feel angry and isolated, often forgotten in today's society. How is Trump successful at reaching them?
Well, for one thing, he went on all those podcasts. These guys have a really deep emotional bond to someone like Joe Rogan, who they listen to for 3 hours a day. And voters have been saying for a decade now, Trump doesn't talk like a politician, and I feel like we haven't really taken the lesson from that. He seems natural, and he's informal, and he can go on Theo Von and talk about what it feels like to do cocaine, or at least ask about what it's like to do cocaine. And they relate to that. Whereas they think the Democrats are just repeating like a rigid ideology that they haven't thought through. They see the left, which they would consider CNN a part of. Of course, we don't see it that way, right? But as having this rigid repetition of ideology that they haven't thought through.
Men who feel angry and isolated.
Yeah, they don't even realize they're in their own fishbowl. They're talking to themselves. The radical left. Here's another one. CNN's Van Jones looks completely depressed as he announces his shock that the Republican Party has become the multiracial working class party. Well, that's what happens when you take your policies and shift them so far to the left that you alienate your base. And your base said, you know what? Those guys over there on the red team, they seem a lot more reasonable.
Fall apart tomorrow. I'm still absorbing all this. It's a lot. And I think when he steps out on the stage, we see him as like, you know, America's next president. The world's looking too.
Yeah.
If you're a soldier in Ukraine looking at Russians being more and more aggressive, you're very nervous tonight. You're very nervous tonight. If you're a solar farmer in a red state trying to deal with this climate issue, we've had billion-dollar climate disasters. Your financing might fall apart tomorrow morning.
Oh, the climate disasters! And the Russian fighters. Oh, yeah. Wait till he sees the news.
Because you can't now count on the federal government being at the front lines of this fight the way that the Biden-Harris administration had put the United States government at the front of the climate fight. So you've got people all around the world whose fates are now in the hands of someone who can either be aggrieved or it can be big. He's usually not big. And so I think this is a shock. It's a political realignment for sure. The Republican Party can now claim to be a multiracial working class party. That is a shock. But the policy implications for planet Earth are yet to be known.
the policy implications for planet Earth. That's where he goes with this. Oh, but wait till you find out. Stick around. We've got more on the policy implications for planet Earth and those Russian soldiers that he's so worried about, and the Ukrainian soldiers, and those farmers, those solar farmers, whatever he called those people. Moisture farmers? What is this, Star Wars? Okay, so the Harris Campaign blaming begins after the crushing loss. We've also got this on today's Morning Joe. Scarborough is still trying to square how Kamala Harris lost so bad. And he was shocked to learn about the high price of groceries. Well, of course he's shocked. I'm sure he's not walking up and down the grocery store aisle. He probably has some maid or some, nanny that he's eyeing. And he's got her walking up down the aisles, right?
Hearing after it. I want to talk about economy for a second. A few weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, somebody who was going to be voting for Kamala Harris came up to me and said, "Oh my God, Trump's going to win." I go, "Why is that?" He goes, I went to the grocery store. Butter's over $3. I kind of laughed and I said, "Well, that's kind of reductive, isn't it?" Said it to myself. To him, I smiled and I said, "Good point." But it actually, everything we're hearing after the election is,
I'm just saying,
is
the $7.
What's that?
The $7.
What's that? Butter is $7?
Yeah.
What?
Some
Is
places.
it framed in gold?
Yeah, what
Okay.
kind of butter?
Depends
Anyway.
on where you go. But
Okay, well, yeah, okay.
$7.
Anyway, my point is this, Willie. The rent is too damn high.
Mika's got to correct him. Yeah, honey, butter is $7.
This guy was saying the cost of butter is way damn too high.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was a bit reductive. It ended up being just the point that if you look at the cost of groceries, if you look at the cost of...
Okay, Joe, shut up now. Yeah, you see, the American people voted with their wallets. And how many times do we have to continue to reiterate that people care about the bread and butter issues, the kitchen table issues? Okay? That's what they care about. Kamala Harris is out there. She's worried about where the next trans person is going to be able to go to the bathroom or compete against your daughter, right? That's what she's more concerned about. But of course, the average American doesn't have the same concerns. And they ignored you. They ignored you. Yeah, we've got more. Okay, Brian, go vertical with this. This is actually really interesting. Okay, we're going to do a side-by-side comparison of Kamala Harris's concession speech with Hillary Clinton's concession speech. And what's interesting about this is that, I mean, you remember on election night, 2016, Hillary Clinton didn't even come out. They had a huge party plan. She didn't even show up to give her supporters the respect they deserve for going out and pounding the pavement and supporting her. She didn't even go out. Kamala Harris did the same thing. And she apparently plagiarized Hillary's speech. Listen to this.
And building coalition. The outcome of this election is not what we wanted, not what we fought for, not what we voted for.
This is not the outcome we wanted or we worked so hard for.
Earlier today, I spoke with President-elect Trump and congratulated him on his victory. I also told him that we will help him and his team with their transition.
Last night, I congratulated Donald Trump and offered to work with him on behalf of our country.
Over the 107 days of this campaign, we have been intentional about building community and building coalitions, bringing people together from every walk of life and background.
We've spent a year and a half bringing together millions of people from every corner of our country to say with one voice that we believe that the American dream is big enough for everyone.
To the young people who are watching, it is okay to feel sad and disappointed, but please know it's going to be okay.
To the young people in particular, I hope you will hear this.
On the campaign, I would often say, when we fight, we win. But here's the thing. Sometimes the fight takes a while. That doesn't mean we won't win. That doesn't mean we won't win.
This loss hurts, but please never stop believing that fighting for what's right is worth it.
It's almost structurally, and almost verbatim copy and paste from Hillary Clinton. That's just how fake the Kamala Harris campaign was this entire time, all the way to the bitter end. A copy and paste propaganda campaign. And then we have MSNBC's Stephanie Ruhle. She sends a chilling message warning that Americans have effed around and are about to find out. Yeah. This is on MSNBC. Americans have effed around and they're going to find out.
Good. So we have now let misinformation become the accepted information. It is.
Oh, really? Wait a minute, honey. Wait a minute. Oh, really? Misinformation? This is on MSNBC. Misinformation. MSNBC is the king of misinformation. MSNBC gets elevated on YouTube as authoritative content when they glorify lies and spread violent rhetoric. Remember, we played the clip a bunch of times here. I don't have it lined up. But remember that guy from the Lincoln Project saying the Republicans were going to burn down election centers? Yeah, that didn't happen, did it? But that's the kind of violent rhetoric that they permit on MSNBC. And she's going to sit here and lecture us about misinformation? Hell no.
Over us. Elon Musk, he buys Twitter, and then he uses it almost exclusively to be a propaganda machine, and we've accepted it. We've accepted a narrative that despite an actually great economic recovery, the vibes don't feel good. So we
No. We're pushing back on your narrative, honey.
Reject it and get something else. And the person we are now betting on to change all of it is Donald Trump, a man who did two almost impossible things. He won the American presidency twice, and he drove a casino into the ground. What will the future hold now that America has just decided that we're going to F around and find out? We have now let
you're going to find out. You're going to find out when you see gas prices come down, when the grocery store prices come down, when the economy starts booming, when people feel comfortable to spend money again and businesses start hiring again. Oh, it is going to be an economic moment this nation has never seen before. Better than what happened in 2016. And yes, Missy, you're going to be the one to benefit from it too. Because Donald Trump is working for everybody, even the disinfo agents on MSNBC. Okay, let's continue. Got some more to digest here. Oh, goodness. You know what? Okay, I don't know how much we're going to be able to take from this one. Rosie O'Donnell finally breaks her silence after Trump's landslide victory suggests, again, getting rid of the Electoral College vote. But you know what? Trump won the popular vote, so it wouldn't matter, Rosie. I don't know. Okay, I'm just take this with a grain of salt. I can't stand her. So.
How about yourself, call your friends, check on them.
Oh.
And get ready, because we're in for one hell of a ride with him at the helm.
Yeah, get ready.
And no immunity guardrails.
Oh.
Okay. God bless America, people. That's all I can say. We're going to need it. And how about we get rid of the Electoral College? Does that... Anybody like that? Anyone? I'm not so sure anymore.
Okay, so, I mean, she
knows it's
a popular buzz phrase that people on the left have been screaming ever since Trump won it back in 2016. She knows it'll never happen, but she likes to throw it out there so that her people watching her stream will kind of feel like, oh yeah, maybe there's hope. But no, Trump won the popular vote. I think she's about to go into that now.
That's what you need to do. Who gets the most votes wins. One vote, one person.
He did win it.
No racist math in the equation. Okay?
No racist
That's what I'd like
math.
to do.
Okay, whatever. Yeah, thank you, Rosie, for nothing. At least she's no longer on The View. Because, when I have to review those clips, it's pretty painful. But then this shows up in my feed, and I'm like, oh, come on. Anyway. And then we've got this. Brian, go horizontal. Biden and President Trump are currently setting up a meeting. That should be interesting.
Seal the deal. Good morning, Bill. The revered Democratic campaign consultant, David Plouffe, who was brought in to Wilmington to try to help Harris seal the deal when she took over for Joe Biden, has deleted his account on X after appearing to blame Joe Biden for Harris's loss on Tuesday and for setting the vice president up to fail. Part of what he wrote is, we dug out of a deep hole, but not enough. A devastating loss. Thanks for being in the arena, all of you. The sentiment with that and everything else around here from Harris loyalists has shifted from Joe Biden's legacy as a selfless patriot is cemented because he stepped aside to let Harris beat Trump, to Joe Biden was so unpopular his VP was doomed from the get-go. That is according to a report in Politico with this. We ran the best campaign.
Wow, what a shift in narrative. Oh, dude, it's like a circular firing squad over there at the Democrat Party.
Considering Joe Biden was president, grumbled one Harris aide granted anonymity to speak freely. Joe Biden is the singular reason Kamala Harris and Democrats lost tonight.
Okay, but see, that's what these people always do. They always want to point fingers and never want to look in the mirror. Remember Hillary Clinton lost? All she did for years, and she still did it. She'd go on every show and she'd blame everything under the sun. She even blamed us when she was in Australia. I'll never forget the phone call I got from Brian. One of our viewers messaged Brian and said, Brian, you got to see this clip. Hillary Clinton's talking about all the videos you made back in 2016. Brian showed me the clip and I'm like, yeah. Like every single headline she brought up was lined up with every single report that we had done when we smashed her campaign in 2016.
Polls don't reflect that Joe Biden was the singular reason that Harris lost. And some Democrats who did win this week are imploring their colleagues to drop the bitterness quickly or else.
One thing I don't think is constructive is to get into the blame game, blaming certain individuals for things that could have been done or should have been done or would have been done. None of that will help us rebuild for 2026 and 2028.
Kamala Harris can't just go off the grid because she is still the vice president for another 3 months. Her office today, though, is telling us she's going to have internal meetings and briefings with staff that are all closed press. So we do not expect to see her in the Rose Garden with President Biden in 2 hours.
Okay, so think about this, right? What he said here was interesting. Is that, imagine if this was just some other candidate, right? Somebody who wasn't holding a position as like the vice president. They would just, fade into obscurity. They would take some time off. They'd probably sit it all the way out till December, and then they'd finally make some statements or go write a book and try to make some money or go on the speaking circuit. But Kamala Harris still has a so-called job to do. She can't just fade into the distance. She has to actually perform some kind of function in the last months of this lame duck presidency. Now, she didn't do anything to begin with for the entire time she was vice president. With all of her czar positions, she didn't do anything. So she's not going to do anything moving forward. But the fact is she still has to, at some point, face the media or face the press. She can't just hide.
He will explain what comes next with the transfer of power, and also hopefully a little bit more about this invitation that he extended to Donald Trump to come here to the White House at some point, just to scope out how things might have changed in the 4 years since he moved out.
Peter, the readout you gave all.
What color are the drapes now? Oh, that's going to be beautiful to see Donald Trump walk right back into that White House. I mean, I remember when Donald Trump and Melania arrived, and it was Obama and Michael there, and Melania brought Michael a nice gift, and she really just kind of didn't really accept it. Obama just being, statesman-like, shaking Trump's hand, but that was at the actual transition point for power. But this is different. This is Donald Trump going ahead of the transition. So it's going to be really interesting. They'll probably have a photo op in the Oval Office. They'll have some discussions, exchange some niceties, but wow. Anyway, let's continue. We got here. Oh, did you guys hear? Speaking of Obama, I got this. A friend of mine sent this to me today. My friend Michael, that this is from a New Jersey assemblyman. Jamal Hawley claims the Obamas have fled America on their private jets. Sources tell me Barack and Michelle Obama have just boarded a private jet and are leaving the country. Now, I like to sometimes think about these things as, I try to be, try to find some reason that's not in conspiracy world. But maybe they're just taking a break. Maybe they don't want to see the press. They're just going to go and, have a vacation. Going to go hang out with Jeff Bezos or, the guy from Virgin Atlantic or whatever, and just take a break because they can't face the press either. Barack Obama was on the campaign trail for Kamala Harris repeatedly, and he was shaming Black Americans. He failed. Bringing him out on that campaign trail didn't move the needle at all. In fact, it hurt more than help. So it wouldn't surprise me if they fled the country, right? But again, they're probably just taking a real long vacation because they can't face the music, just like Kamala Harris can't face the music. But they will all have to face the music eventually. Here's the cover of the New York Times. Trump storms back. In fact, I just ordered this on eBay. I ordered 2 of them. I'm going to frame one, and I'm going to have the second one mounted on the back. I did the same thing for the New York Post edition when I went to New York for the MAGA Square Garden event. These are moments in history. I love collecting newspapers. I've got some old newspapers from JFK and the moon landing, and even one. I have some New York Times that go all the way back to the Civil War. Talk about Civil War troop movements, and it's crazy how small the print was too. But yeah, here you have it. This is a New York Times, beautiful front page. Must have really chapped their asses to print this one. And then we have this out of Southwest Florida. Did you guys hear about this? Yeah. And I'm going to get to what happened in Wheaton in just a moment. But the owner of Food and Thought, Alfie Oakes, he just got raided by the feds. And it's pretty scary. I know I have the information here. Okay. IRS as a weapon. 2 days after hosting a Republican election watch party, federal agents raid Alfie Oakes' North Naples home.
Breaking news, you're looking at law enforcement surrounding the home of local businessman and conservative activist Alfie Oakes. I want to show you this brand new video at 4. That's Alfie Oakes walking into his home while law enforcement are at the home. You can see him walk right past our cameras and reporter.
So the raid is coming just 2 days after he held a massive election watch party at his seed-to-table grocery store. We have NBC2's Alexa Velez for us live from North Naples right now, where IRS agents went into the gated community. Alexa.
Brian, can you go horizontal with this so we can get a better shot? Thank you.
So right now we are outside of Alfie Oakes' home here in the Villages of Monterey in North Naples, and we saw multiple law enforcement officers coming and going in unmarked cars this morning and afternoon, but they've all left since, and that includes people with the IRS. This is new video of Oakes from about an hour ago. He quickly went into his home after talking to law enforcement, and they were going in and out of his home through the garage, carrying boxes, and we actually saw a man wearing an IRS shirt carry out a computer. One neighbor told me off camera that officers showed up around 11 this morning with a battering ram and that his wife and daughter were home. Wow. We reached out to FHP and they confirmed that they were only here assisting other agencies by securing the area, mainly keeping Santa Cruz Court clear. And I spoke to a neighbor who knows Oakes, and this is what he knows.
Right around the corner over here, we just heard, "Open the door," and that's all I really heard.
I don't think they kicked the door in. I think his wife, I heard, let him in.
Alfie Oakes is a well-known Republican leader. Oakes Farms, a feed-to-table grocery store who employs thousands of people, and we're still waiting to hear more from the Department of Law Enforcement to find out exactly what is going on, and the IRS as well. But for now, we're outside of his home in North Naples. I'm Alexa Velez, NBC2.
So we also have some more brand new.
Yeah, so that's what's going on. He is a huge Trump supporter, and now he is getting raided by the feds. Interestingly enough, he did appear. I'm wondering if this might be part of the reason.
In the past with these takeover, and I pray it never comes to it, but I'll be the guy going down in a blaze of glory. We got plenty of guns, plenty of ammo. We're going to defend our farm. We got 3,000 employees. We have enough guns to put in the hand of every employee if we need to be. And I pray that it never comes to that. But we know what has happened in the past with these takeovers. Usually they go and try to kill the farmers. In Russia they did, and other places where
look what they're doing to Amish all over the country.
Oh yeah. So the same Amishmen there that everyone knows about that got taken down back like 12 or 14 years ago. I was buying a lot of my milk from him, and we actually, our trucks were getting seized because you're not allowed to bring raw milk across state lines. You take one of these good oils like a coconut oil or.
Now, I have some more on that too. Let me try to. For some reason, these posts didn't all get cataloged where they were supposed to. So let me just get this information here. We got all these different bookmarks to kind of flow through. I apologize for this. Let's get to that point, because you can. I don't, if you've ever been to his store, it's in Naples, Florida. Seed to table. It's got all things Trump. I mean, you can see some of these pictures. He's got, Trump and Vance cutouts there. He's, Trump and Vance signs in the store. Trump cakes available. So this guy is, they say he's a community leader. And now he's raided by a surprise IRS assault terrorizing his wife and daughter. I'm hearing reports of other patriots who are getting assaulted by the IRS. If you're paying attention, then you know what I'm talking about. But that's what's happening. Here's another clip from that.
Of Alfie Oakes, the owner of Oakes Farms and Seed to Table. Welcome to Wink News at 5. I'm Lois Tomey.
I'm Chris Safadi. We have team coverage tonight. At both locations, our crews are at his home in North Naples and at Oakes Farms in Immokalee. We start with Wink News reporter Olivia Jean live at Oakes Farm. Olivia, what's the latest there?
Well, here's what I have confirmed. The IRS, the Secret Service, and the Defense Criminal Investigative Service, which is part of the Department of Defense, were all on scene. Most of them have left, but they were here for at least 5 hours. And I want you to take a look at this exclusive new dash cam video you're seeing first at 5. You'll see a total of 18 unmarked government agency vehicles rolling into the Oakes Farm warehouse one by one. Witnesses tell me they all came in a matter of seconds. I want to play you some video from the scene earlier today. I've also seen at least 20 officers from different agencies here going in and out of the building, some wearing gloves, others carrying papers. We don't know exactly what they are looking for, but I can tell you it was a massive scene. We know that the Collier County Sheriff's Office.
It's very possible that there's a level of amplification that is taking place right now with respect to the weaponization. We've got Biden, he's getting ready to leave, but he's not going out without a fight, and he's going to try and take out some of the top Trumpers with him. That's what people are saying right now. And this is another big story that everybody needs to know about right now. A friend of mine, Tom, messaged me, told me that this family-owned cafe, Movable Feast, and this is a local company. They're in Wheaton, Illinois. In fact, my family, we've actually used them. We've had their products their food, cater to our home. They do a wonderful job. Well, they're under attack by radical leftists for daring to express their beliefs. Here's some banners that they had put up in their front of their building. Jesus is my savior. Trump is my president. Make America healthy again. Well, that was just too much for some leftists. And they reportedly received 300 plus messages and phone calls and emails saying that they will make sure that their company goes under and they will spread the word to destroy them. Even a major PR firm contacted them and said they're going to make it their duty to destroy them. And here's the irony of the situation. Like if you go to our X account, you'll see everything. Look at some of these messages. F you, you lost my business. Thank you for posting this. I appreciate when racists announce themselves. I won't be spending my money at your establishment. I bet you ate paint chips as a child. I think you need Bible school, says another one. Okay, so I put this message out. I contacted Grant Cardone. I contacted Roger Stone. I contacted J.R. Majewski. I contacted Tom McCullough, Illinois Review. I contacted everybody that I knew. And I said, listen, we got to help this small business. We got to make sure that people get out and help. And they retweeted this message. They reposted it. And it went viral on X. I'm happy to say, finally, we got some traction on X. 19,000 views, 156 reposts. And some of the comments underneath are beautiful, especially this one here. Just called the restaurant and spoke with Sam. He's the owner of the company. I gave them $1,000 for any patriots that would like to come in for dinner on me. Their number, you can see right there, is 630-868-3777. You can call them. You can donate to them by credit card. If you live nearby and you need a nice meal, they are waiting for you. They're in Wheaton, Illinois. So make sure. And the address, I'll give you the address here. The address is 112 North Hale Street in Wheaton, Illinois. So write that down. If you're in the Wheaton area, make sure you stop by. Make sure you tell them why. Make sure you tell them, Next News Network, Gary Franchi sent you there. And we're just trying to help. But look at this. Back in 2005, Oprah put movable fees brownies on her favorite things list, making them famous. But now Oprah backed Kamala's failed 2024 election bid, while the same cafe is being targeted by leftist radicals for supporting Trump. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? So Oprah comes out, supports this small family business. Oprah supports Kamala, and now the radical left is trying to destroy them. This is Matt and Ashley Marquez. They get a chilling phone call from a PR powerhouse vowing to destroy them. This is the kind of corporate bullying that's ripping apart small businesses in America. The gloves are off and the fight is on. So make sure you go out and you support this company any way that you can. Okay? Because the only way we're going to push back is when we unite, and we unite under a common cause, and we support the small businesses that they're trying to cancel. Because what did they do? They just put a banner up and said, "Make America healthy again." I sent it to Ty Bollinger. I sent it to RFK. I said, listen, help these guys. And wouldn't it be great if RFK Jr. showed up and sat down and had a meal at that place? Really put that place on the map. That's what we need. So I need all my people on X right now. Every one of you guys, go to my X account, find that post, and retweet it. I've already tagged RFK Jr., so he'll get notified. But I sent the messages through some other channels to him as well. But let's support these people. They need it. Okay? Okay. So what else have we got here? I think we basically covered the list, but we've got more news ahead, so I don't want you to go anywhere. Oh, we do have this, actually, yes. Here's Stephen Smith saying the Democrat Party was annihilated.
They have the Senate. There was no blue wall, ladies and gentlemen. Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, etc. No. They talked all evening that if North Carolina and Georgia went to Donald Trump, the only way Kamala Harris would have a chance to win the election is if she won Pennsylvania. And she lost that too. I expected a tough, tight race. What we witnessed was an annihilation.
It certainly was. So, the meltdowns we're witnessing isn't just political. It's the death throes of an entire power structure, from Wheaton, Illinois, where patriots are rallying behind a targeted cafe, to Washington, where Democrat leaders are pointing fingers at each other. We're seeing the collapse of their carefully constructed house of cards. The question isn't whether Democrat establishment will survive, it's what will rise from its ashes. And now here's what I want to know from you. What's the most shocking Democrat reaction that you have seen to Trump's victory? Share your stories in the comments below.